This is KGW News at noon.
This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
At this hour, protests are happening all over Nashville, both inside and outside of Tennessee's Capitol building. Hello, everyone. I'm Brenda Braxton. Thank you for joining us today. Demonstrators are angry about a vote in the State House to expel 3 lawmakers who are calling for stricter gun control. The Republican-dominated House is voting right now whether to remove those 3 Democrats from office. Here they are walking into the Capitol today. Last week, they held up signs reading, "Protect kids, not guns." They also used a megaphone to chant and urge fellow lawmakers to pass stricter gun laws. That protest on the House floor temporarily brought business to a stop.
It is wrong to be trying to expel the 3 legislators. I know 2 of them personally. They're good people. They have strong moral convictions. They are people of faith.
The Tennessee House of Representatives has only voted twice since the Civil War to expel a member. The gun control debate intensified after 6 people, including 3 students, were shot to death at a Nashville private school last month. Yesterday, we showed you student protests in Portland calling for an end to gun violence. Those demonstrations were just getting underway as we went on the air at noon. It was part of a national day of action. KGW's Tim Gordon caught up with the kids as they marched into downtown.
What do we want? What do we want now?
They came out at noon, not for a lunch break, but to march. Students from Lincoln High School carrying signs made their way downtown. At Terry Shrunk Plaza, they joined other students, including middle schoolers from the private Northwest Academy in Portland. Their mission, to be heard on gun violence, to call out the NRA, gun makers, and lawmakers.
Why have you not taken action? Why do you only care that it should be your right to own a gun? Why do you not care that it should be our right to live?
That from a 12-year-old. And another young voice had this to say.
I believe that every place should be a safe place. And we should know no one deserves to die, especially at a young age, from a gun. Some psychopath that wants to just go around and kill children.
Our blood, your hands!
Fear is a unifying force.
People over profit. There has been no change made. Not in my 17 years of life, and it is sickening.
And these students, these kids, are unified and angry that gun violence is now the leading cause of death for people their age.
5 dead in Texas, 20 dead in Florida, however many children, and I fear that my family could be next. We don't deserve to die at the hands of just terrible people. And that is why we act instead of standing back, instead of assuming that someone else is going to do it for us, instead of assuming that there is nothing we can do. We must act, because otherwise nothing gets done.
After about a half hour of speeches here at Terry Shrunk Plaza, the students set off to march and spread their message against gun violence throughout downtown Portland. Marching the blocks around the Downtown Justice Center and Federal Courthouse, they kept up the message that gun violence in schools or anywhere else in the U.S. is out of control.
Your hands! Our blood!
Delivered with urgency as students continued on to Portland City Hall,
And gun violence!
where they stopped to rally once more.
Stop the silence!
In downtown Portland, Tim Gordon, KGW News.
Today, the feds are meeting with local leaders to better understand the needs of rural Oregonians. They met up here at the fire station in the town of Donald, about 30 minutes outside of Salem. Congresswoman Andrea Salinas and leaders from 18 small cities sat down with Xochitl Torres, the Undersecretary of the USDA. It oversees loans, grants, and technical assistance to rural residents and businesses. That means investment in things like internet access, clean water, and affordable housing in historically underserved areas.
My biggest takeaway was that when it comes to supporting rural people and rural governments, it's about providing flexibility and making it easier to access our programs. So whether that's investing in technical assistance, folks who can help support going through those applications, or finding ways to just make the applications easier, that will help make sure we're supporting people all across rural Oregon.
Before arriving in Oregon, the Undersecretary was in Washington and Colorado talking about similar issues. 2 people were shot and killed in Northeast Portland's Woodlawn neighborhood. Police say they got a call about gunshots just after 9 o'clock last night. They found one person dead near 22nd and Lombard, and later they found a second body nearby. So far, police have not reported any arrests. Well, this big fire broke out at the Old Elks Lodge off Northeast 99th and Irving just after 2 o'clock this morning. It was a fully involved 2-alarm fire. The building was set to be demolished, so Portland fire crews made the call to just let it burn. There are no reports of any injuries. Streets in the area are mostly unaffected this noon, but there are still units on scene monitoring the rubble to make sure that fire is out. Okay, let's head back to the Weather Center now. Chris McGinnis is here tracking the rain totals so far today.
Yeah, and so far it's been fairly impressive at the Oregon coast anyway. North Coast, Astoria's already picked up 6/10 of an inch of rain. Salem's picked up 4/10. We're knocking on the door of 3/10 here at PDX, and Vancouver's picked up better than 1/3 of an inch of rain so far. And even though we're not showing anything reported out towards the Dalles, portions of Sherman and Morrow counties have seen some sprinkles today. Likewise in Hood River. Rain for a good chunk of northwest Oregon and southwest Washington here through the noon hour. And as I put radar into motion over the last 3 hours, there's not much change. Every time it looks like there's going to be a little break, another round of showers pushes in. And so that has kept us quite wet this afternoon. The live look over downtown Portland, a slate gray sky and predominantly light rain for now. The rain will pick up in intensity a little bit later today. Right now we're sitting at 51 degrees last check. At PDX, and it looks like my machine locked up, but I can tell you, Brenda, we're not going very far in the temperature department today. We'll probably stay right around 52 or 53. Steadier, heavier rain comes in tonight, and then I'm kind of tweaking the Easter weekend forecast just a little bit. I'm trying to find some dry time. I'll let you know in about 15 minutes what I come up with.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Chris. A longtime executive at Kaiser Permanente is now leading the charge to fight homelessness in Portland and Multnomah County. The mayor and county chair introduced Dan Field yesterday as the new director of the Joint Office of Homeless Services. That started back in 2016. It's a partnership between Portland and Multnomah County to deal with homelessness.
I had 12 meetings yesterday. I had at least 10 meetings on Monday. And what each and every one of those meetings had in common was that every single one of them was about homelessness or homelessness and its intersection with behavioral health and substance use disorders. That gives you some idea of how important this issue has become in terms of the future of this city. And so we take this hire very, very seriously. And it should have been.
Dan Field was chosen from 48 candidates nationwide. He tells KGW one of his first priorities is dealing with the city's addiction crisis.